Hi and welcome to this video. In this video, we will build these two columns because I forgot to build them in the last video. It's going to be kind of part 2 video. So let's move to the code editor and the browser to start building them. And to be honest, I recorded them also the second time, but it ended up without audio. So you can see them here on the left side. But let's build them again. I'm going to delete what I did already and build it again. So this is the code. Oh, sorry, not this one here. Let's save. And as you see, it's back to the same place where it was in the last video. Now let's build this row. You might think, okay, let's build a row with two columns directly in the main table, but it's not going to work. So we need to build them. We need to add a row and then a cell, and in this cell we need to add a new table. And we will build the columns inside this nested table. Let me start with adding a new row. And then td, let me format, and after that we can just test how it looks like if we add directly the columns in the main table. As you can see, we have a column here and another one here. So this is taking like kind of 10 pixels and the other one is taking the whole width. There is kind of we can fix it here in the web, but it's not going to work on all email servers. So it's better to use a nested table. So let's add a table. And then row. Then inside this row, we need two columns, or we need two columns. And now we have here two columns. So to make you see what we are doing, let me just add a border. So if you can see here on the left side, we have kind of a small table here. So we need to give it width. So now we give it width here, 100%. Let's give it a percent. So now it's taking the whole width. We need to add kind of padding here to make it, to align it with text. So let's copy this from the previous row. And now you see we have here a table with two columns. But there is a kind of weird spacing here between the borders. So let's remove it. It's the cell padding and cell spacing. We need to make it 0. So this is, now you see we have kind of one line here. So let's add the images. So this is the first one. Let's copy it. And let's just change it to card 2. So now we have the table, but we have here this border. Now we need to add a new row for the headlines. And here we can add an H4. I tried in the last video, so H4 is going to be okay. Headline goes here. And then we need to add it to the second column. After that, we need a table row for the text. Let's copy this lorem ipsum text. Or before that, let's add a paragraph. Let's format our text. So for our code. Now, as you can see, we have this kind of table. I left the border just to make you see what we are doing. Now you can see the text is going to the edge of the card, so we need to add kind of padding here on the right side. So let's add padding right. Fifteen pixels. Let's add it to the whole table or to all cells. So you see the text is going to the edge. Let me now save. And after saving, it's now there is kind of spacing here between them both. We can change it to 15 pixels because 20 is a bit of small. Doesn't matter. Let's remove the border here. I think we still need more spacing on the right side to make the text aligned with the image. Yeah, now it looks much better. We can add it to all the other elements. We can select all of these using Control H in Visual Studio Code, and we can change them all to 25 and then change. Looks good, but we have a lot of spacing here. So let's add padding bottom. 10 pixels. We needed to add it here and here. You can see the space is a bit of too much here. We can inspect it to see why it's too much. So the head here has a lot of has kind of spacing. We can add padding 0 and margin 0. Ah, now I got it. We have here 16 pixels. We can make it 0. So let's go to the paragraph and add a style, margin, top, 0. So now we have less space here. Let me go back to here. And now it looks much better. We can also add here kind of headline. Let's go into the top element or before the table and let's add an H3 and let's just type headline. And as you see, we have kind of headline here. We can also control the spacing, style, margin, top, 0. Looks much better. And this is how you build the two columns. First, we add the table row, and then after adding the table row and the table cell or table division or column or whatever you call it, after that we add a table, and inside this nested table we build the elements, the image, the headline, and the text. And this is the basic structure of it. You can also customize the font. And as I mentioned already, it's better to use the system fonts because they are safe fonts for all newsletters. And the next video is going to be about using this HTML template in Outlook, Gmail, Word, and Word. If you have any question, please leave a comment and don't forget to like and subscribe.